everyone. Welcome to day 5. Welcome to the final day of the Fresh Start 5, which has really been a journey. I hope it's been a journey for you of just really digging down into those things that happen between our two ears, really getting a solid understanding of how we tick, what our motivations are, laying out a practical plan of growth. And today we're going to be talking about creating that vision for your future. So today is not going to be intensive by any stretch. Today is all about hope. Today is all about excitement. Today is about dreams and really giving yourself a clear picture of what you want out of life and what you want out of your Norwex business. So I'm going to be sharing with you the very first vision board that I ever made. And you might be super familiar with the idea or the concept of a vision board, or maybe you're hearing about it for the first time. So a vision board is essentially a visual representation of your goals, what you want, what is important to you, your values, the lifestyle that you want, the things you want to work towards, the things you want to eliminate. It's meant to give you this really kind of overarching view of what you want. And so I want to share with you guys a story. So when you become a senior leader with Norwex, when you get your red jacket, you are invited every single year to something called Leader Summit. And it usually happens either in the summer or the fall. And I was attending one of these events. I was a brand new red jacket. I think it was the second summit I had ever attended. And Debbie Bolton was there, and she is the Norwex co-founder, and she was sharing a story with us about how she had this list of goals. It was, I don't know if it was a vision board per se, it might have been on her whiteboard or wherever it was, that she was tracking the things that she wanted to accomplish as she was growing this company. And one of the things that she said is, she said, we had a dream to have a distribution center in the United States. And so for a long time, all Norwex product was being shipped out of our one and only warehouse in Dauphin, Manitoba. Everything to Canada, everything to the United States. It was all coming from one place. And Debbie had this dream of growth. We're going to have a distribution center in the US. And she would put it on her vision board for like, we're going to make this happen by 2011. And she said, and then we would go through the year and it wouldn't happen. It didn't happen that year. So she said it would go back on the board for 2012. And then they would work and they would grow and they would strategize and they would build, and it wouldn't happen. So she said it would go back on the board for 2013. And she kept putting that big goal, that huge growth goal, on her vision board every single year until it happened. And that was so profound to me, because I recognized even in myself that if I don't achieve a goal that I'm working towards, a lot of times I abandon it, right? I'm like, I don't want to keep working and working and working. It's just too disheartening. It's just not going to happen. And I just let that go. Instead of saying, no, this is important to me, no matter how long it takes, I am going to show up every single day and I'm going to work towards what I want from this. And so I wanted to just share with you guys an example of a vision board. Now, we have done these as teams. We've done them individually. I always create mine electronically because I find that a lot easier. Just been using like a free program like Canva. I just put all my pictures on there and then I print it and I laminate it. So I've always had it in my office for that year. So I would often do this in January, but you can really do it at any point in time and revisit it, right? Even every 6 months, January and July, revisit it and see, okay, is this still representing where I'm at and what I want? Because life is life and it shifts and it can change in a moment, and your goals can change in a moment. And I just want to say this before I show you my vision board. I just want to say this. You are never behind. You are not getting left behind, no matter how long you've been a casual consultant. I was at a meeting last night and I heard a testimonial from a red jacket leader, and she said, I was a casual consultant for 5 years. She worked full time as a pediatric nurse, had 2 kids at home. She loved the product, loved the mission, loved all of it. But she's like, I'm too busy to build a business. And she was a casual consultant for 5 years. And then she said, you know what? We have debt. My family has debt, and I'm tired of carrying this. I am going to get rid of this. And she started booking 4 parties a month. And she said, you know, for some people that might be a lot, for some people that might be nothing, but she's like, that's what I could do. I booked 4 parties a month, and all the income that I made from those parties, I put directly towards our debt until it was paid off. And I personally would call myself a casual consultant for 3 years. I was casual for 3 years before I got to a point in my life where I was like, I need the income that Norwex can provide. And a lot of times the income makes such a huge difference to people because it gives us choices. So I want to show this to you guys. So you're never behind. You can pick up at any moment. You can start building at any moment. And it doesn't matter if you are in your early 20s or you are in your late 60s, like it doesn't matter. You can find a way to make this business work for you. So I'm going to show you guys the very first vision board that I ever made. And it says, Why I Do Norwex, Vision Board 2015. Going back in the archives, okay? So I categorized my vision board into 4 different categories, and I apologize, the video is backwards, so I'll just read them to you. The first one said income and choices. So I basically, we had $15,000 in debt on a line of credit in 2015. And I had a vision to erase that. I wanted that gone, okay? So my goal in 2015 was to pay off that $15,000 in debt. I wanted more choices. I wanted more choices for our family. I wanted more choices in life. My husband and I's hobby is traveling. That is a very expensive hobby, and I just love choices. And then down here it said an ability to generate additional money whenever it is needed. I always felt like Norwex was like this ace in my back pocket. Oh, we need new winter tires? I'll put some parties on my calendar. Oh, we need, an extra for this or that? I'll put more parties on my calendar. Like it was this thing that I could generate the income we needed. I knew how to do it. And I could do it flexibly. I could book it when it worked for me. It was so beautiful for our family. And then down here it said, you are now entering a stress-free zone. That's what that little picture says. And I just knew that I'm like, if I can create this breathing room for our family, that's going to significantly decrease stress. So I had income and choices. In here, this says purpose in life. So look at those tiny little babies. So my oldest daughter, my middle daughter, +1, I was pregnant with our third when I made this vision board. And this picture beside my husband and I says, learning how to support and love one another more and celebrating the milestones together. And then this little image says, live your life on purpose. And then down here, I have my favorite scripture verse. So for me, building a business wasn't just one column. It was also this column. Over here, this side said personal development. So I have a picture of, that's Debbie Bolton, me, I know it's a dark photo, it was in a dark conference room, and Judy Latane. And that was my very first leadership conference I ever attended in 2014. And I went as an executive sales leader. That is a picture of me walking across a stage at annual conference. It's the first conference I ever went to. I went to national conference in 2014, getting my recognition for my executive sales leader promotion. And then I went to leadership conference, and of course, I said, set new goals and never give up, Red Jacket 2015. That was my goal. I wanted to get my red jacket the year that I created this vision board. And then down here it says the 3 C's of life: choices, chances, and changes. You must make a choice to take a chance or your life will never change. And I wanted to be reminded of that every single day, that I'm like, it is a chance to invest in this business and build it. But if I want all of these things, I have to take a chance and I have to be willing to make the changes necessary, which is really what this whole series has been about. And so that's why I needed to be reminded of that. And then this is all related to my team. So I wanted to be a leader, but I also wanted to be an influencer. And I wrote that down before social media influencing was a thing. So when this influencer what that meant to me was I want to impact people. I want to positively be a light. I want to be a positive light in people's life. And for me, building a team was about building community. So I have pictures on here. It says you belong somewhere you feel free. And then that was also the year that I named our team, the transformation team, with our little bird symbol, with the motto being find your freedom and then take others with you. And it's all these birds flying out of a cage. So if you've ever wondered, why do we have transformation team name and why is our symbol a bird? It is because this is where it all started. Birds coming out of a cage, find your freedom and then take others with you. Because we're transforming lives. We are transforming our lives and then we're showing other people that they can do the same with theirs. And then this was a fun picture. Some of these consultants are still on our team. It says you belong here. And that was taken at a local team meeting here in Edmonton. So this was my vision board in 2015. It talked about why I'm doing Norwex, what I want to do with the income, how I want to grow as a leader, how I want to influence people, what that's going to mean in my personal life, how that's going to give our family choices and freedom, and it's going to give me purpose. That is probably one of the most powerful gifts that Norwex gave me, especially in this season of my life. It can be a lot. The baby years were incredibly difficult for me. That did not feel like my parenting niche. And so having Norwex gave me an outlet. It gave me a creative outlet. It gave me something to work towards, to work on, to feel like I was contributing to our household, to give me a purpose and a role outside of that motherhood title. And it's not that I didn't love being a mom. I'd always wanted to be a mom, but it was really hard to be a mom to toddlers and babies. My oldest was extremely challenging. She has a will like nothing else. And so she went into the terrible twos at 18 months and didn't come out of it until 3 years old. And legit. And we just battled every day because I'm like, no, you are not going to win. Like, I am going to win because I am the authority in this house. That's besides the point. The point is that was such a challenging phase of life, and Norwex was a lifeline for me to feel like I was really good at something when I didn't feel super gifted in that phase of motherhood. And when I just reflect back on that, I think, who else needs what Norwex gave me because they're in that season? And I remember even my mom telling me, she said, if you have something outside of motherhood, it will make you a better mom because it will just give you this confidence and this focus that gives you a bit of a break, right? Even if you're not physically leaving the house, which I was, because back in this day, you guys, this was all in-person parties. I was out of there at bedtime. See you later. And that was a really good break too. So just to close off this series, you guys, I just want to encourage you to dream. I know we hear about that a lot, and sometimes it feels like, oh, but the dream just feels so far away. The time is going to pass anyway. It's going to pass anyway. And so when you feel like you wake up and you don't want to work, go back to the beginning. What is my why? Why am I doing this? What is my motivation? And then say, what can I do today to feel like I have moved forward regardless of the outcome, right? Dreams, goals, tasks. Get your tasks done that work you towards your goals, and the goals will build the dream. So say, you know what, today I'm going to get my tasks done, and I know I have won the day. I know I have done what I needed to do. I know that I was able to move forward. And then as you move on from that, making sure that you stay in that mindset of, am I offering something to people versus asking them? Do I have a solid mindset about everything that I do in this business is about other people, what I'm offering to them, how I am serving their family, how I am educating them, how I am sharing something that I love and that I'm passionate about and that I know works and that I know is going to positively impact their family. Stay in that place of serving other people, and you will never need to sell anything. And then, of course, after that, we dug deep yesterday and we were talking about the things that we believe about ourselves, the things that hold us back, things that need to be uprooted and left behind. That is so important, guys. Do the work, because that will make you so much freer to move forward and move forward so much faster when you're not dragging that old baggage behind. And then fifth and finally, know where you're going, creating that future, really taking the time to create that visual representation of what you want out of your life. And you may not achieve everything the year that you put it on the board. It may have to go on to next year's board. If you're like, I'm going to run a marathon and I'm going to make $10,000 a month and I'm going to do, it's like, those are amazing goals. They may or may not happen all in the same year, right? Because we're human and we have often divided focuses, and sometimes the, critical takes precedence over the necessary. And so I guess I just want to say to you guys that you can build anything you want in this industry. This is an industry that gives people freedom. And when you really take those steps to understand why you're doing it, what you're building, having a mindset of servanthood, and really working through anything that holds you back, you will be able to put things on these boards and check them off. And then next year, when you create your next vision board, you are going to be amazed at what else you can put on there. It's not going to be about the debt anymore. Now it's going to be about, I want to start saving for that summer home. I want to start saving for that next new vehicle that we really want. I'm going to start saving for a surprise trip to Disney for my kids, right? Like you actually are able to start expanding the dream and the goals that you have. And all of a sudden you're going to wake up and be like, I'm living what I one day wished I could have. And that is my number one dream for you guys, is that you will wake up living the life that one day you wanted to have. So with that, you guys, of course, the exercise for today is going to be creating that vision board. And I would love to see yours. So send it to me if you're going to make it electronically, if you're going to go old school and do scrapbook style, and cut out pictures and do it. You can do it any way that you want to, but I would just love to see what your dreams and goals are. So with that, if you have questions, definitely always reach out to your jacket leader. They are so happy to help you. They want you to be successful. They want to help you move forward. And this is really a process that if you go through and you do the work, you will be unstoppable. And that's what we want, to be totally unstoppable. So have an amazing rest of your week or your weekend, wherever you're wrapping up this training from. And I wish you guys all the best in your business.